I'd like to introduce Hal Coxon. He's the Vice President of Sales and Marketing at Consumers Credit Union, and he's a great supporter of the Chamber. He's also going to be our MC for today, and please welcome Hal Coxon. Thank you.
At this time, we have the Lake County portion of our program. We've heard from the mayor from the city, now we heard from Clerk for the region. We have Keith Brin, who was sworn in as Lake County Clerk of the Circuit Court on December 1st, 2013. E-filing and remote access to court records and documents are top priorities for Brin, who most recently led the development of a state-of-the-art electronic filing system without the use of taxpayer funds. Very important. As Clerk of the Circuit Court, Keith is an outspoken advocate and steadfast proponent of utilizing technology to create a seamless and efficient connection between the courts and those utilizing the courts. A highly regarded attorney and accomplished business executive prior to entering public service, Brin practiced law in Chicago, where he focused on representing companies and employers. As a business executive, Keith helped turn small to medium-sized entrepreneurial ventures from failing companies into profitable ones through legal, financial, and managerial overhauls. Outside of the Circuit Clerk's office, Keith is highly involved in a number of civic and philanthropic organizations. He received his Bachelor of Science degree and Master's of Public Health degree from Emory University in Atlanta, Georgia. He also received a JD from the Loyola University School of Law. Please welcome our Lake County Clerk of the Circuit Court, Keith Brin.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for having me here today. So how many people here know what the Clerk of the Circuit Court's office does? Come on, all four hands. That's actually pretty good. That's about double what I usually get. So you've heard a little bit about my background. Now let me tell you about the elected office. The Clerk of the Circuit Court is an office that is formed via the Illinois Constitution. We are the yin and the yang to the judiciary, to the judges themselves. Every court action at the state level, to be an official court action, is going to be signed by a judge via an order and is going to be entered into the official record by the record keeper, being the Clerk of the Circuit Court. So in addition to keeping all of the records and being the official record keepers of the state level courts, the Circuit Court, we also handle all of the money associated with the courts. We are essentially the information hub of the entire court system. Just to give you a general idea of what we do. In Illinois, unlike some other states, it happens to be an elected position every 4 years. Thank goodness it's not every 2 years. I don't know how you folks every 2 years do it, but I don't know that I could. But we do things a little bit differently. So my talk here today is going to be to tell you a little bit about not only the philosophy of the office, but what we do, how we do it, and why we do it, and more to the point, how it affects you as in the business community and you personally. The Lake County Circuit Clerk's office, by its description and name, is pretty much to Lake County as local can be. We are the information hub of the Lake County State Court System, the 19th Judicial Circuit. We serve Lake County and only Lake County and all of Lake County. Whereas you all are the business hub of this community and certainly feeding into the greater Lake County community, as do we. My main courthouse is located in Waukegan. We've got 5 different courthouses. So we're located, our main one, in the county seat. And every day, we're all in Waukegan and go to every part of Lake County, and we interact with you as business owners and you personally, the miseries of the court system, the wonders of the court system, every part of the judicial system, us being a non-judicial branch of the judiciary, if that makes any sense at all. We interact with you on an amazing number of levels. In addition, as business owners, to being our fathers and sons, our mothers and daughters, our friends and neighbors, you are also our customers. And to a larger extent, to me, you own my business. You're my bosses. You're our shareholders. It's your office. And that's a message that we deliver very clearly to all of the clerks and ask them to carry out as a primary function of their duties. Everyone in front of them using the services of the courthouse are their bosses. The interaction they have with the person in front of them is the most important interaction they will have today. That business is primary. The person in front of them is paying their salary. So how does the circuit clerk's office impact the business community? Well, there are actually three different kinds of ways. There's the traditional way of the court system, litigation in the courts. From a business perspective, all civil litigation like small claims, tenant actions, delinquent actions on accounts receivable, etc., or larger commercial matters, law division matters, arbitration matters, you name it. If they're going through the 19th Judicial Circuit and the state courts, they go through us. However, we also impact you on a very personal matter: divorce, family matters, probate matters, traffic tickets, a few of those here. If you need a court record, we have it. We keep those records forever. So in a non-traditional way, how do we impact you? Well, we do background checks. You can come down to our office and ask for a background check. There's sometimes an associated statutory cost, but we perform those. We also, until the courts merged via the change in amended Constitution in the 70s, we actually used to do naturalizations. We still have all of those records. They go back to the 1800s. We actually recently partnered with the Illinois State Archives to actually save the office about $30,000 in scanning costs, because we had these big, beautiful leather-bound tomes that literally from the 1800s were starting to crumble. They actually taught beautiful handwriting back then. The original signatures on these pages, the photographs, the history of Lake County in these beautiful tomes. It was, once you started opening them, you got sucked in and you just kept reading and reading and reading, and it was remarkable. Well, I'm happy to report we didn't have to spend the money to scan in those documents to preserve them. The Illinois State Archives took control of them. They scanned them in for us. So we now have them computerized so that people can search, and the archives themselves are keeping at Northern Illinois University in sealed areas so that they're going to cease crumbling and they'll be available for posterity to see the actual original books going forward. How many people in here knew that adoptions also go through the courts? Okay, a few more. See, I'm warming everybody up a little bit. We also perform marriages, essentially. Our judges perform marriages every day after 2 o'clock. You can come in after getting your license from the county clerk. You can come in, and we're basically a pass-through judiciary, and for, I believe, $10, someone will perform a marriage. There's also one thing that very few people know we do, but when people find out, they love it. We are a no-appointment passport and renewal agency. So now, even with the U.S. Post Office, and before I became circuit clerk, I didn't even know we did that. I used to go to the post office, make an appointment, and wait in line. You don't have to do that. Come down to our office. We have all the forms, and in fact, we've developed checklists, not only in English, but in Spanish, and for adult passports and juvenile passports, because the Secretary of State and Homeland Security, God bless them, I don't know how they handle all that stuff, but the instructions still read like awful instructions. So we made a checklist, a very simplified list. You can find it on our website. Come on in with everything, and we'll process your passport. There's a further, even more non-traditional way that my office is now helping all of you and the people of Lake County, and that is we've devoted ourselves to be a resource for literally just about everything that government can provide. It doesn't mean that we provide those services. It doesn't mean that we actually have the answers. But if you call us and you have a question about government services, we will do whatever we can to connect you with folks who actually do provide those services and can get you those answers. Much in the way that you all are our bosses and we focus on customer service, we don't do that, or that's not our job, as appropriate to tell all of you. We will do whatever we can to assist you into your goals. But we also understand that the obligation of an elected office, and specifically the circuit clerk's office, is more than just the four walls of the courthouse. We are involved with a lot of charities, some local and some much larger. To highlight a few, every quarter we choose a specific charity, and we give opportunities, volunteer opportunities, for people in the office to get involved. We partner with them on an event or events or some other type of action that will give people volunteer opportunities when they're out of work on a volunteer basis to be involved with that charity. So far, we've worked with NYCASA in North Chicago and built them a big, beautiful garden that they use. We've worked with the Make-A-Wish Foundation, where we had a very successful book event. We found out about halfway through that the Make-A-Wish Foundation would only take new books in this drive. So we actually were able to donate thousands of books to local hospitals that were used and they use in their children's areas and help with treatment. We've also worked with the USO. Now, I don't know if any of you know with the USO, the naval base right here over in North Chicago, they are the only recruit training center in the entire United States now. If you are in the Navy and you get trained, your recruit training center is at Great Lakes. It is important for us in our mission to support the people of Lake County. And we count Great Lakes in Lake County, but more so as Americans and citizens of the United States. It's important for us to do what we can to help out those troops and the naval base. So we're very active with the USO. We've also worked with the Illinois Food Bank in putting together packages for those in need. We've done a lot with charities, but that's just a few with whom we partner. In addition, I hold periodic government business roundtables with a very clear message. I want to hear from you. How are we doing? How can we do what we do better? How can we help you? And how can you help us? There's a synergy that needs to be formed between business and government, and it's critical to the community. Whether it's meeting with various chambers of commerce in the office for courthouse tours or for breakfast, whether it's meeting with small groups to address language barriers and specific services, it's important to be transparent. It's important to relay to people what we do. With my marketing budget of $0 in the office, it's important that I get out and speak to people in the community to let them know, even for example, that we do passports. So now, as every CEO provides the company's owners, I'm going to give you a quick snapshot and a finance summary and a picture of the vision of the Circuit Clerk's office as it stands now. With 5 courthouses and almost 150 people, we handle almost 175,000 new cases every year, never mind the thousands of ongoing cases that we handle. We have a budget of over $11 million, and we're profitable. Now, a lot of you just said, wow, oh, wait a minute, you're not supposed to be profitable. You're a government agency. And you're right. But the way we generate funds for the office is actually by user fees. These are statutory fees. We have no discretion to charge them. So if you're coming in and you need a service from us, you have to file a case. You pay a certain fee for that case. That's by statute, board ordinance, or regulation of some sort. A small amount of that money goes to the operation of the office. Document storage fee, for example, $5, and some other fees. So a very small amount of that fees. We are profitable in the traditional sense in that we do not spend more for the operation of the office than we take in via user fees. And every year we are audited to the penny, and every year we go before the county board, and we are accountable for everything we do, why we do it, and how we do it. And let me tell you, all of you should be very proud of the Lake County Board, because just because we say it doesn't mean they believe it. I get up in that chair and they ask questions. They ask tough questions. The good news is I'm very proud to report to you all that in fact we return a lot of money to the general revenue coffers, and we are, as of right now, profitable by not spending more than we take in for operations. So as a very quick departure, if some of you have gotten traffic tickets, you may notice that despite you maybe pleading guilty and the judge saying, oh, that'll be $75 plus costs, that suddenly you got a $275 bill. How the heck did that happen? I get one of these calls a day, and that's only the ones that get filtered through after the others have been answered. Most of what we do financially, we are a pass-through to local municipalities, to state agencies, and to others who are involved in the process. All of the enumerated lines on that ticket, and for court cases, generally go somewhere else. And that's due to state legislatures and other laws that say, for example, every traffic ticket gets a $50 roadside memorial fund tacked on, and it goes to a special fund for the state. And that list gets longer and longer and longer. So you wonder where those amounts come from? They come from your legislators. That's why it's always very important to get involved in those types of elections. Despite that we're staying local, stuff from the state does come down and affect us very locally. Now to get back to our financial report. I'm also pleased to share with you all that last year being my first year, we cut our budget, in addition to not spending it all and being profitable, by 4%. And this year, we're on track to cut our budget yet again, with no reduction in services. I'll let that one sink in for a second. We cut our budget, we're profitable, and we did not reduce a thing. And in fact, we found ways to expand services. Right now, we deal with, for example, passports just in Waukegan. We're shortly going to be expanding that to our other different courthouses to make it easier for people regionally and locally to access our services. We continue to make our forms and information more accessible using language translation and website improvements. And as Hal introduced in the bio, my focus has been on improvements via technology. Nothing that we do needs to be restricted to 8:30 to 5, Monday through Friday anymore. Nothing. We have created software, not wanting to be beholden to vendors. We actually bid it out and did what all you would have done. We didn't like the solutions that were present, so we created our own. We devoted money and planned for it in capital funding. We went to the board and got approvals, and again, got grilled there too. But as I reported to them, and I'm very proud to say to all of you, we've developed technology designed for every person using our courthouse, not only the lawyers, but the uninitiated non-lawyers to use. In other words, technology that's available to all of our customers. Whether it's getting court data, whether it's getting just plain information. When's my traffic ticket? How much do I owe? Where do I go? What are directions? What are phone numbers? What are your hours of operation and what holidays are you closed on? We've actually produced a package of technology that is so cutting edge, and I would love to say it was by intention. It's just what we created. When you unleash the minds of people around you, you'd be amazed at what comes out of them. Amazed. It's actually so state-of-the-art that we've been featured and inquiries have come from other court systems across the country who may want to buy the system. That's another shocker probably for all of you. Imagine government having a return on investment. It might happen. We will shortly be a 24-hour-a-day, 365-day-a-year courthouse with information, documents, and services available on demand, but on your schedule, not ours. So as you can see, you all as the people of Lake County have hired sort of an aggressive CEO to lead the circuit clerk's office. You all have the vision in your fields to be the best at what you can be in the business community, and we have a vision in the circuit clerk's office to make sure that we are stride and stride with you and will compete against you to be the best in customer service. And that's to make you proud of us. We strive to be the leaders in the legal community, and we work to change the way the courts in Illinois do business. And in less than 2 years, the Illinois Supreme Court has taken notice, and now they are all watching us to see where we are going in the courts. We will be an example of good government for the people of Lake County and continue to lead by example. So now I have something to ask of all of you. I need you to contact us and tell us how we're doing. I need you to contact us and tell us how we can do our jobs better. I need you to contact us and tell us how we can partner with you to make your jobs and lives and interaction with the court better. I thank you very much for your invitation here today, and I look forward to working with all of you in the future.